As we continue to venture into lesbian TikTok, the relationship between feminine lesbians and bottoms and masculine lesbians and tops becomes even more of an unspoken rule. You might remember the first fem check that I showed, which was captioned "bottom baby." Without referring at all to her sexual preferences in the content of the video, this user applies the stereotype that her feminine presentation automatically means that she is a bottom to her own video and to her own identity. While this may be true for this particular user, its prevalence is the product of assumptions imposed on the embodiment of lesbians as a whole. This next video shows those same expectations, but on the other end of the binary gender spectrum. The video is captioned, quote, "So since y'all won't stop commenting about my top energy, I thought I'd actually try."
Scores and Suburbans, yeah, they damn work. There you got a little booty, shake that shit. You sellin' pussy for the bag, gon' make that shit. Say you finna throw that nigga and I'ma break that shit. Break that shit, break that shit.
So this user changes from a more feminine presentation wearing short shorts and a crop top to a masculine presentation wearing a button down, being more fully covered, and this change in her presentation is to try to demonstrate her top energy. This implies that in order to have top energy, a lesbian must be masculine presenting. This expectation continues in this next clip as well.
You can do anything you want when you sexy.
Basically, she's starting, the femme lesbian in the relationship starts to break the expectations at the beginning of the video, saying that, oh, I'm a femme, but I'm a top. But then at the end, it switches back to the heteronormative script of the more masculine presenting partner being the dominant partner in their relationship. So, top and bottom identities are, as it has become clear, incredibly gendered. Tops embody masculinity and are thus dominant, emotionless, and cold, while bottoms embody femininity and are weak, submissive, and soft. The audio of this next video sums this up perfectly.
It's not fair. I'm just as tough and strong and mean as Buttercup and Blossom, but they just don't believe me. They'll treat me like a baby. I'll show them how proved I can be.
As you can see, this user presents her embodiment as feminine, but she identifies sexually as a top. The audio is her speaking as a top, saying that she is tough and strong and mean and can be hardcore, but there's the added component of the baby voice that implies her feminine embodiment, as well as the caption, which tells us that she has to prove her sexual preferences in spite of her feminine presentation. A similar argument is shown in this next clip from the perspective of a masculine presenting lesbian.
Yeah, I'm a top, I'm super tough, I'm super cool, and I ain't soft. Except when I'm with my baby. Right.
This self-proclaimed top identifies herself as super tough, super cool, and not soft. But when she's with her baby, she's allowed to shed some of these masculine stereotypes that come with her top identity that comes out of her masculine embodiment. This removal of some of the masculine expectations of tops expressed by that previous video is not reciprocated by many. This next video is another one in which a lesbian uses her single body to represent tops, stems, and bottoms.
Fat ass bitch, what you looking at? I'ma throw that back like a Cadillac. I don't care how you throw it, I'ma handle that. I'ma break this bitch, dismantle that.
And a bitch eat a lot. She fuck me and suck me, she a thought.
Yeah, let's start a sex talk. Give it to me good, take the drawers off. He can hit it from the back, take it all.
When she gets to being a bottom, she doesn't even try to do that embodiment, and she says, JK, always a top. This identifies the stigma that being a bottom is less desirable than being a top. And there are countless videos on the app that show this averse attitude to being a bottom. The next few videos show this stigma, and I'll show them in pretty quick succession.
'Cause I just wanna party all night in the neon lights till you can't let me go.
I just wanna feel your body right next to mine.
First, we have this user who finally owns up to the fact that she is a bottom, which tells us that this is something that she has previously had to hide or been ashamed of admitting. This next video is a trend that's popular on TikTok that takes the lyrics, "You would not believe your eyes," from Owl City's song Fireflies, and distorts it with images and text of things that one would not believe if they saw it.
Would not believe your eyes.
In this lesbian edition of the trend, I've just shown the end of it, which tells us that you would not believe your eyes if a bottom accepted she was a bottom. Finally, we have this video.
I don't find you funny.
From this video, we learn that someone's own queer friends makes fun of someone for how they present, both in their embodiment and in their sexual preferences, which just tells us even further that this is an identity that is not desirable among the lesbian community. All of this is to say that while lesbian TikTok has created a unique space for lesbians to be themselves, it has also perpetuated binary, heteronormative, and patriarchal standards of embodiment to an extent that the community has never seen before. While these binary identities can be helpful for some lesbians in understanding their identity and embodiment, they are ultimately harmful. One, because they exclude lesbians who do not conform to these standards, and they also perpetuate the system of patriarchy and heteronormativity, even within a community in which heterosexuality and the male gaze is not directly present. This expectation implies that in every relationship, whether heterosexual or not, there must be a masculine presenting partner and a feminine presenting partner, as shown in this next video.
On my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good.
This user uses her STEM identity not to break the binary norms, but instead to conform to them, telling her audience that in order to be attractive to studs, she must embody femininity, that word is so hard to say, and in order to be attractive to femmes, she must embody masculinity. The prevalence of this top-bottom discourse does not end with lesbians' discussion of their sexual and romantic relationships. It is clear that this is a narrative that is embedded in the culture and community of lesbian TikTok by the videos that apply these concepts to things outside of sexual relationships. One user has a video series on your favorite drinks that definitely make you a top or a bottom.
Hey kids, it's Abby, and today we are going to be talking about your favorite drinks that definitely make you a top. Number 1, Coke. Hey kids, I'm Abby, and today we're going to be talking about your favorite drinks that definitely make you a bottom. Number 1, strawberry milk, because if you drink strawberry milk, you're definitely a little bitch and you like to be tied up.
While these videos are intended to be comical and an exaggeration of these identities, the mere fact that she is able to compile a 30-second long list of beverages that make someone a top or a bottom speaks to the prevalence of this discourse on lesbian TikTok. While the lesbians that create these videos are most often young adults from the ages of about 16 to 26-ish, just from my experience of what I've seen, TikTok is rated as an ages 12 plus app in the App Store, meaning that young impressionable lesbians or young women who are discovering and coming to terms with their own sexuality are being influenced by these videos and may not be aware that these labels are social constructs brought into the lesbian community because of the heteronormative and patriarchal standards. This becomes harmful because it becomes a kind of corruption for young people. Instead of breaking out of these standards that lesbians have been working to reject for so many years, TikTok is teaching young lesbians that these binaries exist and that they must conform to them in order to be happy, in order to find a lesbian relationship, and in order to have sexual pleasure. This is my call to action for lesbians on TikTok. Next time you go to post a video about being a top or a bottom, think about the social implications of what you are saying. Are you perpetuating heteronormativity and the patriarchy? Are you okay with the male gaze entering the lesbian TikTok community, the first community of its kind, which is exclusively for lesbians all over the world? Toby's back to say thank you so much for watching this video. To all the TikTok lesbians, I hope that this helped you to think, oh my God, about, I hope that this helped you to think about how you're embodying your identity and ways that you can always be conscious of how you are continuing the perpetuation of the patriarchy.